Morning, guys. I wanted to show you this amazing thing that Mrs. Flores, Lucas's mom, and Mrs. Guintini, Sawyer's mom, put together for us. Remember when we were still at school and we all went outside to the lawn and Mrs. Flores stood on the ladder and she took our picture? Well, Mrs. Guintini made it into a pillow of all your cute little faces. I'm gonna hold it up so you can see. Isn't that darling? I know you guys all want this pillow, huh? It will be in the auction, so I'm super excited, and we're still gonna have an auction and a gala in whenever we can get all together again. But I wanted to show you this, and it's so cute. I hope, I don't even know how she made it. She's so tricky. She'll have to tell us, because it's amazing how nice this turned out. So thank you to our photographer, Mrs. Flores, and thank you to Mrs. Guintini for putting it all together, because I am just loving this darling picture of you guys. It is so cute. I think it's about a 14 by 14, so if your parents want to know, and show them, because this is really cool. This will be a fun memory for somebody in our class. I'm going to set it behind the camera really fast, because I don't want my pets to get on it. I've been keeping it in a plastic bag because, you know, my pets, they're crazy. Okay, so in the packets that I brought to your house before Easter break started, there was a present from Mrs. Costa and I. And in the present, if you've opened it, I'm sure you have, it was a Junie B. Jones book, and it was called Junie B. First Grader Dumb Bunny, because I want us all to be able to read it together. So I'm super excited. I'm going to start on chapter 5, because that's where we are. It's page 51. So pause the video, go grab your books, and turn to page 51. Okay. And then you have to turn the video back on again. Okay, so we're going to read all together. And when I'm reading, sometimes I make mistakes. I'm not the perfect reader. So if you see me make a mistake, follow along in your book so you can pay attention, and you will find when I make mistakes, because I promise sometimes I make them and then I just skip on. Okay. Oh, what was this all about? Remember, because it's been a while since we read. So Lucille invited everybody over for a big Easter egg hunt at her house. And the person who finds the golden egg gets to have a play date with Lucille. And she has a big fancy swimming pool inside of a glass house. And then they get to have a picnic and stuff like that. And Sheldon, is that the one, Sheldon, who wants to be the winner, and so does May. Oh, and so does all the kids, but those two are going at it. And then Junie B is also very much involved. So let's see what happens in chapter 5. It's called The Jelly Bean Game. We're starting on page 51. Lucille's daddy clapped his loud hands together. Boys and girls, please find a seat at one of the picnic tables. Lunch will be served shortly, he called. I waited to see where Sheldon was going to sit. May waited too, because both of us had to keep track of that guy, of course. Only too bad for me, because as soon as Sheldon picked a, turn the page, table, Lucille sat down next to him, and vroom! May slid in on his other side, and I got shut out. Wait, hold on, no fair, I said. Then I quick tried to squeeze myself between May and Sheldon, but May would not budge herself, and I did a grrr face at her, and May hissed like a snake. I stood there very puzzled. I do not actually have a comeback for a hiss. Finally, I went to the other side of the table, and I sat down across from them. That dumb May, I grumped to just myself. She keeps getting one step ahead of me today. Plus, Sheldon is one step ahead of me too. I looked across the table. Lucille was whispering to Sheldon, very secret. May leaned her head over, and she listened through Sheldon's other ear. Whispers can come right through Sheldon's head, apparently. I put my chin in my hands. I don't stand a chance in this stupid egg hunt, I said to her. He gave me a little pat. Sometimes a little pat is all a friend can do. Only guess what? Just then something very nice happened, and it's called Lucille's Nana walked over to where I was sitting, and she sat in a chair at the end of my table. I jumped up real thrilled. Nana, Nana, look, it's me, it's Junie B. Jones, and you are sitting right exactly next to me, I shouted. The Nana glanced her eyes at Lucille's mother and daddy. Yes, I know, dear. I lost the coin toss, she said, kind of annoyed. I sat back down and tickled her arm. This reminds me of when we ate dinner together last year, I said. That was very fun. Except I accidentally broke your crystal glass. Remember that, Nana, huh? Do ya? The Nana nodded. Oh, yes, I remember, she said. I thought back. Plus, I accidentally busted your feather pillow, and if I'm not mistaken, I spilled beanie weenies on your expensive linen tablecloth, I said. The Nana looked at me. You're not mistaken, she said back. I smiled and patted her hand. Good times, I said, real soft. May heard me talking. Well, Lucille and I are going to have good times too, right, Lucille? When I come to swim in your pool, that will really be good times, she said. Sheldon looked at her and grinned. Don't count your chickens before they're hatched, May, he said. The Nana did a chuckle. I think you mean hatched, dear. It's don't count your chickens before they're hatched, not hatched, she said. Sheldon raised his eyebrows. Really? Are you sure? Because at our house, my Aunt Bunny brings chicken hash, turn the page, for dinner every Sunday, he said. Chicken hash is her specialty. He smiled real proud. Aunt Bunny was a chef in prison, he said. The Nana's face went very funny. She lowered her head to the table and she rested her cheek on her napkin. I leaned my face way down next to her. Speaking of bunnies, Lucille said the Easter Bunny would be here today. Only I haven't actually seen him yet. And so where is he anyway, Nana? I asked. Lucille did a huff at me. Nosy Junie B. Jones, why do you have to ask that question? She said. My Nana does not want to talk about that. Do you, Nana? You made a teensy little mistake about the bunny and you don't want anyone to know about how you almost ruined the party. The Nana did a groan. Lucille kept on talking. My Nana was in charge of hiring the Easter Bunny, only instead of hiring the real Easter Bunny, she hired a cheap, fake Easter Bunny. Right, Nana? The Nana still did not reply. Lucille went on. The fake bunny came to our house to get his pay yesterday, only his fur was real matty and the top of his ear was chewed off, but he told my Nana that he freshened up nicely, and so Nana gave him cash money in advance, and then he hopped out the front door and he never came back. The Nana raised her head. Thank you. Turn the page. Lucille, thank you for sharing that with everyone. You're welcome, Nana, said Lucille, very pleasant. You're welcome. The Nana rolled her eyes. Lucille did not understand sarcastic, I believe. Just then, Lucille's daddy stood up at the picnic table and he said it was time to get this show on the road. He held up a silver bell and rang it in the air. Ting-a-ling, ting-a-ling, ting-a-ling. Then, boom, waiters started bringing food from all over the place. And it was the deliciousest food I ever saw. There were barbecued hamburgers and tasty hot dogs and crispy chicken fingers and crunchy salad and yummy potato chips and sweet pickles. Plus there was even delicious devilish eggs. Whoa, what a spread, I said. And I stuffed a devilish egg in my mouth. Also, I stuffed a pickle in my mouth and some chips and a giant chicken finger. I didn't stop stuffing for a real long time. And then finally I leaned back and I rubbed my big fat tummy. Whew, I'm about to bust a gusset, I said. Are you, Nana? Huh? Are you about to bust a gusset too? The Nana frowned her eyebrows. Ladies don't bust gussets, Junie B, she said. I was surprised to hear that information. Really? I said. Then what do ladies bust? Turn the page. Roger raised his hand. At our house, we bust our guts, he said. Herb smiled. At our house, we bust our buttons, he said. Sheldon stood up. At our house, we just unzip our pants, he said. After that, everyone at the table laughed and laughed, except for not the Nana. Finally, all of us got finished eating and the waiters took our plates away. Then wowie wow wow, Lucille's daddy brought out the most beautifulest box I ever saw. It was wrapped in shiny yellow paper with twirly curly ribbons. He held it very high in the air so all of us could see. Whoa, whose birthday is it? I shouted, real excited. Lucille jumped up and giggled. That's not a birthday present, Junie B. It's a game prize, she said. Before we hunt for eggs, we're going to play a very fun game. And whoever wins that prize will get the thrill of a lifetime. Right, Daddy? The daddy smiled. Well, we certainly hope the winner will be thrilled, he said. It's a pretty good prize, we think. Just then, he put the box down on the table and he pulled a big jar of jelly beans out of a paper bag. This game is called the jelly bean game, he said. Can everyone see all the, turn the page, jelly beans in the jar? We've got lots of colors, don't we? We've got reds and yellows and blues and blacks and greens and oranges and whites. He stopped and held up one finger. But, he said, in the whole big jar of jelly beans, there is just one purple one. All of us made a hushy sound. Ooh, we said together, just one purple one. The daddy smiled. Then he put the jar back in the bag so we couldn't see the colors anymore. Okay, now I'm going to walk around the picnic table and each of you will have a chance to reach in the jar and pull out a jelly bean, he said. But remember, you may only pull out one, okay? Okay, we hollered, okay. Lucille hurried over and held up the beautiful box. And remember this too. The first person to pull out the purple jelly bean will get this prize, she said, the thrill of a lifetime. All of us clapped, and then we bounced and giggled and wiggled and clapped, and we waited for the jelly bean jar to come to us. It was the nervousest wait of my life, I think. Because what if someone got the purple jelly bean before I even got my turn? That would ruin my whole entire chance. I put my hands in front of my eyes, and then I peeked through my fingers, and I watched the children pick. Roger's table went first. He picked a red bean. Turn the page. Then Camille picked an orange bean, and Chanel picked a green bean, and Shirley picked a blue bean. My table came next. My heart beat faster. Jose picked a yellow bean, then Lenny picked a white bean, and May picked another white bean, and Sheldon picked a black bean, and then at last, it was time for me. My heart was pounding like crazy. I bent over and did some deep breathing. The daddy held out the bag to me. I breathed some more. Okay, Junie B, he said, anytime now. I stood up and did a gulp. Then very slow, I reached my hand inside. There's the picture of her doing it, and everybody has it in their book. Inside the bag, and I felt all around for purple. I wrinkled my eyebrows, real curious. What does purple feel like, I wonder? I said to just myself, and Daddy said, please hurry up. I swished my fingers through the jar some more, and then all of a sudden, I felt it. I tell you, I felt purple. It felt roundish and beanish and purplish. I grabbed it real tight, and then I pulled my hand out of the jar, and I opened my fingers, and guess what? Guess what? We're going to stop right there. We will read chapter 6 another day. What do you think she felt? Do you think she felt a real purple jelly bean? And what do you think is in the box? Boys and girls, it is time to predict what happens next in the story. Think it in your head, because good readers predict so they can check what they're reading. Bye.